Hello my lovely humans, I'm Lyro, your favorite Android boy VTuber, and in this video, I will show you all kinds of resources for your VTubing adventures. All of the things I will mention in this video are free or very affordable, so they are perfect for everyone who just starts out, but also people who just want to save money or just didn't even know these websites and tools exist. I do this because I am absolutely frustrated with people constantly trying to excuse the use of generative AI because they are too broke and oh so poor, when there's actually so many things you can achieve for free or very cheap, especially if you are just starting out as VTuber. I know, you just want to be as cool and fancy as the big leagues, but let's be real for a second, that's just not gonna happen, unless you put a lot of effort into it, and AI will not get you there. Take me for example, I rarely spend money on VTubing, because I just do everything myself. My model, my art, my graphics, my videos, everything. Oh but Lyro, you are an artist. Of course you can do everything yourself, but I have no money to pay artists and I have no skills, so I just use AI. Where's the problem with that? Well, aside from all the well-known environmental issues and creative property theft that generative AI comes with, you are just proving that you are indeed absolutely lazy and should maybe pick up a different hobby. If you want to create content and become a VTuber, you don't need money. You need motivation, inspiration and a willingness to learn and try out a lot of new things. Artistic skills can be learned. Or do you think we artists are born like this? No! It took me 20 years to get where I am now, and that's because I grew up during a time where the internet was new and digital art hasn't been as accessible as today, so progress should now be even easier and faster. You have tutorials everywhere, free materials and resources to learn. Want to get into a new hobby? Google it and you will find easy guides to follow, and it's always good to acquire new skills, because you never know when you need them. And to those trying to find things to complain and say that generative AI is still better, good for you! I am not gonna try to argue or convince people who believe that. Do what you want, I can and I won't change that. This video is for the people seeking advice, seeking inspiration and a solution that doesn't cost them any money or is very affordable. If you genuinely believe that this is all bullshit what I say, then this video is simply not for you and I kindly ask you to move on. For anyone else, let's get into my stash of resources. One thing that any VTuber needs is an avatar. This can be just a PNG, a 2D model or even 3D. All of this can be achieved for free or just very affordable. I will create multiple examples of these in this video, all for free or cheap. I will use the same idea of a design, to show you how they feel in each medium. A PNG is usually a static image of your avatar. It's the easiest and best way to start VTubing. You can visualize yourself however you want and just start streaming and creating content. And a PNG can even be more powerful when you animate it. Make it into a GIF or use one of the many methods to create a reactive image that triggers movement based on your microphone input. Commissioning one of those is actually pretty affordable, and from what I gathered, prices are usually below $100 for a custom reactive PNG with multiple expressions. But if you are out of money, here's a way to get free PNG, that you can even animate with different frames and mouth movements. Picrew is kinda like an old school dress-up doll website and anyone can create a character maker on this website. And there's a ton to choose from, and what's important for you as aspiring VTuber, you can search for makers that allow commercial use. This way, you are allowed to use them as avatar, though I'd advise to always read the terms of use by the artists. So I'll quickly show you what I would do with Picrew. As you can see, I picked a maker, made me a quick little design and then exported this with different facial expressions, because this way, I can even create a reactive PNG or animated GIFs out of these. It's just really that simple. There's some cool programs that can turn these into reactive PNGs for streaming, like VRoid or PNG Tube Remix. And thanks to commercial use being allowed, you can use these as a sweet little starter model for getting into streaming. Did you know? Even I started once as PNG. This was Jollybot, the robot that came before me. Back then, Jollybot was only a 2-piece PNG, with the head separated and the reactions are triggered with the app VRoid, and I used this for a while, until I finally moved over to Life 2D, which is gonna be our next topic. A very good and affordable way to get a model is a customizable model. These come in various price ranges, and for this showcase here, I show you my absolute favorite, which is this pixel art chibi model by this artist. It's also the only one I got on hand right now, as I used it before to create myself. So again, we will use a similar design, just this blonde girl. She might be a demon or vampire, kinda reminiscent of one of my OCs, Lilybeth. I just like me some cute blonde anime girls. And there she is, fully customized, and this model even comes with a bunch of toggles. It's small, compact but super expressive, a perfect starter model. There's just so many more of these models on sites like Begin and Booth. If your budget is tight and you just want to start out, check one of these out. I mean, not gonna lie, I'd watch me some funny sock puppet VTuber. The ultimate customizable model tool if you want to go the 3D route. VRoid existed for quite some time and I remember using it while it was still in beta, just to make me some models of my OCs, and since that, VRoid has improved a lot. Just the options of textures it already comes with are so beautiful. Just take a look at how I made this girl come to life. I did not make custom textures, I just used whatever is in VRoid, just to show you that you don't need to have any artistic skills other than maybe a good feeling for design. But that can also be achieved by using mood boards and references. I will not get into the details of how to use your VRoid model for VTubing, because there are plenty of tutorials and I am simply completely out of the loop when it comes to that, as I've been using Live 2D for over 4 years now. But from what I know, Warudo is probably the best way to get into 3D VTubing. Now let's hop on to the next topic that people often lazily replace with AI, while it can be so easy to just make yourself. Graphic design is my passion and it always has been. There's 2 ways to tackle this, either do it yourself or use free resources. To make things yourself, you don't even have to subscribe to any Adobe app, you can just use Photopea. Just please ignore the AI trash they inevitably had to include, and focus on what it is, a copy of Photoshop running in your browser, for free. I showed it off in one of my streams where I transformed stock photos into backgrounds for your streams. I mean, what does a VTuber need for graphics? You can go fully minimalistic like I do it, so your overlay is just a resized cutout of the 1080p screen size, but most of the time I play games in full screen with just my chat. I would even argue that stuff like latest subscriber or latest follower is an overrated thing to put on screen, but I guess it's just part of live streaming? In the end, an overlay is nothing but a fancy frame put on top of your gameplay or whatever you do. It's not that complicated, if you think about it. The classic layout is literally just a freaking frame. Fill it with stuff that fits your design and branding and there you go. I'd even say, if you got the money, get Clip Studio Paint. It's very often on sale and comes with a nifty thing called Clip Studio Assets. This is an asset store with brushes, images and more made by real artists that you can use freely, even commercially. CSV in general is a good alternative to Photoshop and worth every cent. I in fact use it for a lot of my graphics because of the easy implementation of assets, like patterns or brushes. If you really don't want to or for some reason just can't get it done yourself, then let's talk about some of my favorite free graphics websites. This website is a goat when it comes to simple and beautiful backgrounds and little knickknacks for your stream, thumbnails or whatever graphics you put together. You will probably find a design there for every occasion, style or mood. All of these are completely free, just give credit. They also do have a store on Booth with paid materials and these are also very affordable, like 500 yen for over 20 PNGs, add-ons and more is a freaking steal. Another really good Japanese material website. All stuff is free and they have not only backgrounds, but also thumbnail graphics, overlays and a lot of small things to decorate your stream. They even got pixel art. Both of these websites are my first stop when I need a specific background but don't have the time to make one myself. And I also use them to make the simple overlay for our VTuber design we did earlier in this video. This is like the simplest thing you can put together for absolutely $0. You get all these materials and put them together in Photopea, maybe adjust some colors and that's it. That is just all you need. And to me, putting stuff like this together is so much fun. I just love browsing these material websites, gather ideas and inspirations. And there's even so much more you can explore. Let me show you. This is my favorite stock photo website. They have tons of amazing high quality images that you can use, completely free. And I love using those photos not only in my art, but sometimes as backgrounds for my streams. And again, I showed how to make these into backgrounds in one of my streams. Check it out. These can be very good websites for materials, but a bit tricky. It's important to sort out every AI and even then it can slip through the cracks. I advise people to only use this if they are good at spotting AI, but if you can avoid it, holy moly, there's some crazy good stuff on there. I love to browse the vector section, because you can find some really lovely illustration style works for your background. That's how I made my BG for my VTuber SummerSlam overlay. You can also get some helpful PSD files for all kinds of graphic design needs, or even video material. This is for your special VTuber needs. This website hosts a ton of free stuff by various creators. You can even submit your own, and it just got everything: overlays, widgets, schedules, emotes, and even models. I recommend checking this website regularly, because new stuff gets added all the time. I have to mention this again, because it's kinda underrated. Yes, you need to obviously get CSP to use this, but it's money spent wisely. Every VTuber needs to have an art program at hand, and Clip Studio is by far the best for all kinds of uses. I highly recommend it, and I also recommend learning how to use it, maybe not just for art, but also for anything image editing related. In the Assets Store, oh my god, I am in awe of this thing. Brushes, patterns, 3D, images, photos, it got it all. Some are free, some cost a few cents by using either Clippy or Gold, but if you just browse the free assets section, you will cry happy tears because of how much there is. Yes, you can use this in commercial works, the only thing you can't do is resell the assets as they are. And these are just some of my favorite resources, but also the best I can share with you. With all of that, you are able to create yourself a whole VTuber branding for $0 and with no generative AI. It really is that simple. I showed it to you, so now it's your turn. I firmly believe that every content creator, and that includes VTubers, need to have certain basic skills. You need to be able to make your own graphics. They don't have to be perfect, they can be basic as frick. But if you need something real quick, you should be able to do this. This is very important. Your content will improve already if you just know how to whip something together in Photoshop or any free image editing software. Trust me, I hope I could help you a little bit. Happy creating, I guess. Do your best, because I believe in you, my lovely humans. You can achieve wonderful things, even with no money. I trust that you can do that.